right, I need you to open up your books to a blank piece of paper where you can take some notes. Open up your books to a blank piece of paper where you can take some notes. Have a seat. Seat. Okay, we are opening up our books to a blank piece of paper. At the top of it, you're going to put today's date, which is the 9th. And if you're having a bout of deja vu at this moment, it's because we did it this morning. But we're going to do it again. November 9th. To the right of that, I want you to put bus tour. Bus tour. And I want your 3 aha moments from the bus tour. Aha moments, things that jumped out at you, things that you knew but maybe had forgotten, things that you had remembered but forgot the importance of. 3 things. 3 things. You guys are late. You're not allowed back in. And I'm going to need some mic runners, please. Cordell. Dana. Are we on at home, Dan? Hi, everybody at home. Can you guys turn and wave to the people at home? Say hello. Say we're back. Did they miss a good bus tour today? Yeah. Yeah, see, you guys should have been here. I tell you what. Okay, 3 things. Got one, Carolyn? Mic runners. Chop, chop. Okay, now again, I want to remind you, you should have your own 3. Those of you who haven't written anything yet, because you thought you'd wait until the mic runners came and you just cheat. Okay, we're looking for retention here. So, below your 3, 4, 5, and 6, take notes on the rest. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I learned that just because I might not necessarily want that property, there might be a buyer for it. That second house that we looked at was in such disrepair that I couldn't see funding it or having anything to do with it. But on the other hand, there were many people there that wanted to jump on it because they thought it was a great opportunity.
Okay.
And so you can't prejudge what, the market might be.
Okay, you can't prejudge what the market might be, but you also have to identify where your comfort level lies from a lending standpoint, okay? Because even for us as a lender, the answer is never no. It's this is our comfort level. Yeah. So what was the purchase price on the first house? Or the house you're speaking about? What was the price?
I don't remember.
$290.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that right? $290? The second house you're talking about, right?
Yes.
She's talking about the second house. What was the purchase price on the second house? $292. Okay. What is it worth fixed up? $360 fixed up. Okay. So, Carolyn, if I came to you and said, Carolyn, I want you to lend me $292 on that house, would you lend me $292?
No.
What would you lend me?
$150.
$150. So you're not telling me no.
That's true.
You're saying this is where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Remember yesterday we said that private money has no set pricing or parameters. And as an individual, you choose. So you never want to get into a habit as a lender of saying, I'm not going to lend that. I'm not going to fund that thing. Because there is a comfort level that you will get to where you will lend it. Right? Okay? So you just got to find out where your comfort level is and then go from there. Yes, Kenny.
One thing I relearned is the best and highest use for a property.
Okay, good. Highest and best use. Tell me about the property that you looked at that had a higher and better use.
Probably the last one. It was listed as 3 bedrooms, 2 baths on one sheet, 7 bedrooms, 7 baths on another.
Okay.
And I think what the final determination was is it could be a maximum of 5 bedrooms, 5 baths in that neighborhood.
It could be a max of 5.5 because of zoning? It was zoned R2? What was it, like a rooming house? Okay. Were they using it for like elderly care? That was their intention? Okay. Looked like it? Was there a ramp? Okay. Then it wasn't elderly care. The city would not allow what? Okay. 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 So the city wasn't going to allow the density use within the property. And that's pretty common because of parking. That's why elderly care typically works in that capacity, because normally they have to be transported via a van or a public utility service. So that would be an acceptable use. But again, the city, they decide. But what's great about cities, especially when they're broke, is you can pay them to pretty much let you do anything. You just have to figure out, is that money worth the return? Good. Okay, over here. Yes, sir.
On the first property we looked at, what was neat to learn was the absorption rate. There was only 2 weeks of inventory in the area, so you don't necessarily have to put 100 things of the fix in there. You can do some cosmetic things, and it should still sell pretty fast.
Okay, good. The absorption rate's 2 weeks, so there's not a lot of inventory and there's a lot of buyers. Would you guys believe that in most markets you can find a particular area of town that has absorption rates less than 30 days? And that's true in Michigan, that's true in Ohio, that's true in most markets. So you have to identify what is the predominant desire in that particular marketplace. And if you want to move property quickly, that's where you shop, that's where you sell. But know that if you're playing in a low inventory area, your margins are going to be thin. Okay? So what you get in the form of speed of turn, you lose in margin. Because there's so many people there that are bidding on the same property, you've got to bid higher. So if you outbid the competitor by $1,000, you may be sitting at $220 on a house you can only sell for $240. So after costs and everything else, you might clear $7,000, but you do it in 30 days. So if you can make $7,000 a month with the same 220 grand, what's your yield? So take 7,000 times 12. How much is that? It's 84,000, right? 84,000 divided by 220. What is that? 30% roughly, and you're doing it on slim margins. So remember yesterday when I said you as a fund, you need to identify what your target yield is? The reason for that is when you know what your target yield is, you can better determine what investment vehicles you should be pursuing. So if your target yield is 25 or better, you need quick turn, low margin product, because that's the stuff you get in and out of very quickly. If you're looking for lower returns but greater income streams, then you pursue bigger margins with longer turn times. But you determine what strategy am I going to pursue. And I see so many investors that struggle with this because all they're looking for is a good deal. Well, that is such a big shopping center of opportunity that it's hard to narrow in on what it is you really want. I consider myself to be a marketing guy, as you know, and one of the things I do as a marketer is I identify who is my perfect target customer. Who are they? And I make them my poster child for the marketing message. Who are they? What do they like? What is their income? Where do they assemble together? What magazines do they subscribe to so I can buy a mailing list of just that person? And as investors, you should be doing that in real estate as well. But you guys are going after little shabby single-family homes. You're pursuing 4-plexes, 8-plexes, 200-unit complexes. You're shopping note deals. You're trying to do short-term transactional funding. You're affiliates for a lending company. And if you're confused about what your core competency is, guess who else is? Your customer. Your customer is going, what do you do? Right? You're like the handyman. You got a tool for everything. But you're still only making $12 an hour. So if you want to get rich quickly, you must niche. The old adage of there's riches in niches. So pick your niche and be the best at it, and your income will skyrocket. Yes, sir. Bill.
Okay. My takeaway moment was the diamond in the rough. That was the second house we looked at, I believe. And it was rough. But by the time Reagan explained it all, there was money to be made there, definitely.
So are you going to buy it?
No.
Hey, Bill, I got $100 here for you. Do you want it? No? Okay. Why aren't you going to buy it, Bill?
Well, I don't live here. I don't have a rehab crew here. I don't know anyone here, and I hate houses. I'm here to learn how to run a crew, tell the crew what to do, but I strictly want to lend money.
I have made you such a snob.
So I have to buy houses in order to lend more money.
So who's a local here that, why am I getting this weird rumbling feedback? Can we have Don escorted off property, please? Don is trapped in the 8th grade, apparently. Because now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that's what it was. Who's local? I'm pretty sure nobody wants to work with Don at this point. You know, maybe tomorrow after some Beano or something. Okay, who's local? Let me see your hands. And who would be willing to partner with Bill on overseeing the rehab of that project and splitting the profit if he put up all the money? Hey, Bill, you may be stepping over dollars to pick up nickels, my friend, because there's all kinds of people that will do exactly what you want to do, which is run crews or lend. So let's take it to the next level now. Who in the room would buy that property if they had access to the capital to do it? Okay, Bill, so you got now a bunch of investors that want to borrow money from you. Do you see what I mean? Okay? So that said, how many of you got with Judith and wrote an offer while on the bus or told Judith, I want to put an offer on that property? What, did you write it? Okay. Have you written it? Oh, she went to the other bus. You know what she did? She said, what are you willing to pay? Then she went to the other bus. And she says, hey, I got a buyer, right? That's good, Judith. I like that. By the way, can we give Judith a round of applause for all she did? Thank you, Judith. And Leah, we owe Judith money. Make sure we give Judith money. You got it? Okay, good. Yeah, Judith put together all flyers and put the whole tour together. So thank you, Judith. We really appreciate that. What else? Yes, Raphael. How did you know my name? It's on your name tag.
The one thing that, especially after listening to people, it really drove home that in hearing people over there, like I think it was Carol's reaction about I will never buy that house, is that ugly really does mean lots of money. Not just money, but lots of money if you just start thinking differently.
Start thinking differently. Good. Yeah.
And I mean, it drove it home for me. I mean, I believe that already, but this time it really anchored it. This one way of putting it.
Yeah. In real estate, unlike in marriage, it's easy to love ugly. Wow! Ooh, good grief! Hey, Dory, no tomatoes for dinner tomorrow night. You guys are rough. My goodness gracious. All right, where are we at over here, Dana? Just hand it to somebody. Put them on the spot. Kathy.
You know, it wasn't aha. It was like, no, duh. That second house, I mean, it was just so ugly. I was just like, no, whatever. But it doesn't, just because they're asking $292 doesn't mean I have to offer $292.
Ah, there you go. Okay, good. If you didn't write that down, you should. And even if you think you knew that, write it down anyway. The listed price is not the required offer price. Okay? Now, if you don't know what you should offer on such a property, what's the answer? 50%. Now, here's where you've got to be careful about pinpointing your target properties. Okay? Let me explain. Judith, they're asking $292 for the property. I would like to offer $141. $146. You going to let me offer that? Okay. So this is a realtor who gets it. Any other realtors in the room? Okay. Zen, do you think that 142 or 146 hours is going to get accepted? No. No. Are you going to write it anyway?
Depending upon the client and their expectations and the relationship,
yes or no? So we're right back to where we started. Okay, you'd write it. All right. Now, what I have encountered with some clients is your presentation. And I'm not going to cover that tonight. I'm going to cover that tomorrow. But your presentation is everything. Because do you tell your agent what to write the offer for with conviction? And when they say, where are you going to get the money? You say, I got the money covered. You just do your job. I got this. You do your job. Or do you speak in a sheepish, somewhat questionable, suggestive, well, what do you think? Okay, realtors only get paid when you buy real estate. And if you don't come off that you are a serious buyer that's going to perform as promised, they're not getting paid. So they're not going to write the offer for you. But if you pursue unlisted property, then you don't need an agent to write an offer. Okay? If the property's on the MLS, you've got to write an offer through an agent. They just will not work with you unless you have representation. Now, it's illegal in California now to be a co-broker, isn't it? You can still represent the buyer and the seller as long as it's disclosed. Okay, so dual agency. Should you ever allow an agent to represent you as a dual agent?
No.
No. They don't have your best interest in heart because they know both sides. But I'm not going to get into the details. Anyway, where are we at?
Oh.
Yes.
I did notice that on the first property that it was a little pocket. It was brought out that was a little nice pocket in otherwise a medium neighborhood. It was a little more high-end streets, couple of street area, and that would be a benefit if other people didn't realize that.
So the property was subpar for the neighborhood?
No, it was nicer.
Oh, it was nicer than
It was
the
nicer than
neighborhood.
the neighborhood.
Is that
yeah.
good or bad?
Good. Well, you could offer less. If the
Okay.
comps were lower, you could bring down make a lower offer because the
Okay.
comps around it were lower.
It
Yeah.
was a pocket of
Pocket
nicer
nicer
houses?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just make sure that there are supportive comps surrounding it
Yeah.
so that you don't have to go too far from the subject property to establish value.
Uh-huh.
Because when you look at an appraisal and they're bringing you value from 10 miles away, and I know that's extreme, but when I look at an appraisal and the best comp is 3.5 miles away, did you guys notice how quickly a community will change colors on you? Yes. One minute it's like, wow, this is beautiful, and the next minute you're like hoping you don't get shot, right? That happens a lot
Yeah.
in a lot of places.
Yeah.
So you got to be real cautious about comps being too
Yeah.
far away.
Well, I meant you could use the lower comps to justify the lower
Yeah,
price.
Yes, yes, certainly. So you can kind of play both sides. When you're buying, you use the worst comps you can find. When you're selling, you show them the best. Yeah. Yeah, good. Where you at, Cordell? You just got to start putting people on the spot.
I've already done mine.
Oh, he did his.
Yep. Kevin? The different views of what needed to be done on each house.
Okay. Like what?
Well, I mean, we were talking electrical in the first house. One was complete rewire, and the other was, okay, I might just do 1 or 2 outlets. I'm just kind of going through in that same sense. So, I mean, that was, I think, from a standpoint of the whole group, was everybody had a little bit different idea of what they would do. And the bottom line on the first one was, it was pretty much a lipstick deal with the exception of the bathroom.
Okay. Okay. What did you think it needed?
I was pretty much with the lipstick and the you know, the one bathroom. We definitely nosed. An older house, I noticed some settling. You know, went and looked. Didn't see. I mean, I saw a little bit of issues with the wiring, which would require, but new countertops in the kitchen. Nothing really, just a lot of paint.
Okay. Just be cautious. The one thing you got to be cautious of regarding cosmetics is that you're not putting lipstick on a pig, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because
I mean,
the buyer sees it. So you make the front yard look really good, and by the end of it, you have exited the rear, and you have no interest. So you've got to carry it throughout. There's certainly things you can do to reduce or limit costs outlay, but there are some things that you cannot shortcut. Good. Okay, what else?
Okay. One of my ahas is I'm a rehabber, contractor. I like to pick out everything. As an investor, I'm going to quit doing that. I can overlook a bunch of it, but I like to pick out everything.
Yeah.
So I get a little too technical when I do not need to.
Yeah.
A little paint instead of tearing the sheetrock down and redoing it.
Yeah, and that's tough to do because as a contractor, the more work you bid out, the more money you make.
Exactly.
As an investor, the more work you bid out, the less profit you make. Yeah, so that's a hard line to cross. I have a brother-in-law that's a builder, and I hired him to rehab a property for me. And he's a new home guy. So I went through the property, which is only like 800 square feet, and I said, okay, well, this thing should run about $8 grand. And 6 weeks later, I got a bill for $38,000, and I went, this is my house? I don't think so. Needless to say, he's never worked for me again. Family and business, you know. Yeah. Okay, one last one. Where are we at? Okay, last one, Dale. This better be good.
Well, it comes from Regan, so it's got to be great.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. One thing that he kept driving home at each of the houses that we looked at was reeling in what the market would demand in the way of rehab. I think previously I would go into a property and I'd look around and see everything that needed to be done. And he disabused me of that idea in this kind of a market in Orange County. It's like the absorption rate is so high right now, you don't have to do all that stuff. People will take a house that's still a little ugly just in order to get it. And so you don't have to invest all that you thought you might in a rehab.
Okay, good. Take that a step further, though. In a market where the absorption rate is 2 weeks and the inventory is so limited, do you actually ever have to buy the property? Or can you just write it under contract, control it through contract, set up a 45-day escrow, and wholesale it to somebody else, and then just make 10 in the middle? Yeah, okay. The cost of money will eat you alive. So any time you can avoid borrowing money to get the deal done, that's what you should do. So if you control it with the contract, market it within the confines of the contract, then roll it off, now you don't incur the cost of money, which means you make a greater profit and you can offer it at a lower price. So it's back to the Elmo analogy I gave you this morning. Or do you guys remember this silly thing, the Beanie Babies? Was that not like the dumbest thing you've ever seen? And I mean no disrespect if you got a garage full of these things, okay? But I'm sure your cats are there playing with them. That was funny to me, apparently it did. Beanie Babies, right? The grocery store that I was working at, this was like 17 years ago when Beanie Babies came out, and I remember that the grocery store was auctioning off the Queen Beanie. The Queen Beanie. Now, this thing cost like 50 cents to manufacture, and they sold it for $1,800 for charity. Now, charity helps the cause. Better managing your start setting monies aside. You start foregoing like to have now and use that money for investment. Put it into something that gives. My cousin is a diesel mechanic, hates his job. He says, Lee, what do I got to do to get to start investing your money more? Put it into some investment opportunity. Do that. I said, well, look, short sales, here's a list. Start working. I want you to mail. Okay, I'm going to guess how many letters he wrote. How many phone calls he made. He proceeds to tell me after his return, the government every year as an employee, I just got 68 with it. I said, that's good. I want you to put it in the bank. Find an opportunity. And it's going to Oh, Lee, that sounds Friday. I'm at his house, sitting at his, watching his new big screen TV, eating ribeye steak. You've got to forego to get what you want, and it's really hard. Doing well, you get the promotion of money, things are going great, more stuff. You can either keep up with the Joneses. Now, I want to live in a neighborhood. Joneses doing okay, right? 600 square foot house, and he drives a truck. $6 billion? I'm guessing that the majority of a nicer car. $6 billion. That's too bad, because that would really be helpful. I had a woman apply Tuesday, and in the escrow business. And she was sold it, and she was working there. She decided she was going to be done with us. For what the position was paying, and of what I normally may offer it to you to be offensive, position pays. Medical benefits. And I went, well, they're okay to the benefits. As an entrepreneur, of being able to choose who you go with, how you make it, with, that ability to do that. Do you have a business that's doing the work for you? Still don't own a business. So why sell? I have lots of freedom to explore at all hours of the day. Hold in one job that's working certain days of the week. As an entrepreneur, to pick a day you're going to work. Hours a day. Minimum of 12 hours a day. What you guys want? What's your bead? How beading if you could make millions? You'd hire people to do it for you. Love it, right? How? Okay. Getting there, okay? Your hand, why don't you love what you're doing? Today, because I really love what I do. We get to work with people, watch people grow. We lend them money on and acquire, and because of that, $40,000, $50,000. That's rewarding. I love what we do. And if not, can say that. Because you will never afford to truly succeed. And you do not spend time. I have job security. You're the only pink slips, so your box. My income is based solely on faithfulness to showing up every sickness and in health because my livelihood, and I love it. What's ready or allowing for you? To summarize, I've never drawn unemployment. I dictate my hours, where I go, how I go. It's want. Okay. A lot of work. You ready? So entrepreneurship, failure. Yep. Education in life sets us up to handle part of success. The big, thick book that came out, right? Did you read that thing? His story. Steve Jobs spent more broke and on the verge of wealthy. And sold it off. It was the verge of bankruptcy. Into bankruptcy, and then he came out with the Lou computers. He invested in a little company, which made him. He took the money from that and bigger, and that's where we got the iPad and the iPod. Ooh, sorry. Ooh, we got some okay. Relationships, personal reinforce our worst feelings and why we don't like to fail. What if failure was like how would that be? Would that be helpful? Okay, on your piece of paper, I want you to write that. Broke, and no less than. Explain why in a minute. Destitute and bankrupt. Hey, you're working on it. No less than 3. Knocking on the door. Okay. Worst case scenario for you, settled on it. If that's the worst case scenario, with that worst case scenario, you'd figure it out. Right? Before we got married, I said, by the way, I'm probably going to go bankrupt several times. That's okay, you're so dry. Why are you laughing? True story. Yeah, she could very survive. Yeah. Hi. Because if that's the worst, the risk. What's the risk? Right? Remove anxiety. That's the worst case. I can handle that. Henry Ford, Walt Disney, H.G. Heinz, P.T. Barnum, bankruptcies. Stories. He was entered in a, guess what the entry, $10,000. Racers, not $100,000. Like 1912. Money, okay? 100,000. He gets in the race at any moment he planned to lose. You're not going to pony up 10 grand if you plan to win. And that's where Ford Motor, right? So all in. If it's up, they did. Bankruptcy of his hotel, casino, and 90s to the tune of 100 business bankruptcy occurred. 1.8 billion. Mentioned that they wanted to learn the art of that. They said the art of the deal. This book, Do you guys know his casinos, the top there, that's the misnomer. He didn't. No, he called his, said, hey, you're interested. So you can either reduce my couple of months of reprieve without, you can take the revenue from the casino tool, re-engineer, you can have the key. What do you think the bank said? Well, Donald, you need to go for a shot. Fine. Out, right? That's what Donald Trump did to get out. Bankruptcy's not the worst. Bankruptcy is great. Do you see? Now that's a reason I would not be too good looking for jail. Late 1970s, deeply in debt. He used a home equity loan to invest all. He remembers when one evening I attempted to check into a credit card was declined. Many people might say that isn't true. It's really time to look in the mirror and face that if I was going to be tough, the world would take on the job. On me, the world. Anybody read Rich Dad? Great book. Spurred me into what said if you want to be successful people who can teach you. And the other thing he said is multiple streams of income. When you're making $3.90 an hour paid once every other Friday, stream of income. Move outside of that, what you're used to. You understand multiple streams goes down extreme. If this one isn't paying it up, and if this one stops back, you guys should have multiple income. More loans, getting paid on businesses, starting, buying inventory, reset. These are all things that produce. That should be another goal. If you have one right now, if you have two right now, how do you get four? Properties. That's multiple. Foreman in the 80s, Foreman was on the verge of bankruptcy to re-enter the boxing ring at the age of 8 title against Michael Moore in 94. You want to remember this? Yep. The second chance off millions of dollars of debt and locking George Foreman grills. He said, you know what? The world's going to be hard on me. Some shots. Goes and invested in the George. He's paid millions of dollars annually. He's got no oversight, nothing. To step in the ring, okay? So, well, you could do nothing. Or you could, right, the box is safe. What do you think the box is boring? I mean, that's why I'm working at the same job in and day out. I don't know if you guys never wear this, but I have it. Yeah, it's, what were we? Or quit when you see, avoid failure. So I had hired I was in Salt Lake City at the time, and anybody, okay, Lake City sits, you can drive fast and land in a little town over. Okay. It's right inside that, and it's a little gambling, Peppermill and some other. Marketing manager goes over to hey, why don't where advertise a free home giveaway? You can sell slot machine tickets. Then when somebody wins, Venturi Homes, $1,000, and house worth $260. Sound pretty good? With this, you will put us on every television commercial. So when you consider that our house is going to cost us about $1,000, and they're giving us paying for all that media, is that pretty cheap media? So I'm like, all right, Matt, the promotion begins. For the entire summer, and there's this big hoorah, and we've got, and you open up the door, put enough money in the slot machine, you got to key open the door, you won the house. And a bunch of staff, I think Regan was there. We go over to window, and the winner wins, and the casino wires $1,000 into our bank account. Things are good, right? Building the home, everything's going, writing checks that are bouncing. There's $200,000 bouncing. So I start researching the checks of what's gone. Sure enough, the checks are right there on them. Sign it. More digging, I discovered that the partner for the home building company, the back door, view. Promotion with the promise worth $260, which to produce. That they're mob run. And without, and I'm very concerned. At this point, I could have read, I could have cried. I called up the CEO and I said, we have a problem. He said, so I drove out the 2 hours to the guy and I explained to him, I said, and I'm going to do everything right. I see longer to deliver because I'm now going to have to do it out of my own. And he said, you know what, Lee? Sorry that this has happened. Just so checks had bounced. I said, you know what? I'm going to negotiate. You do what successful people do. Supplier, every person, even the eight were involved. And I got them all so that I could afford to pay cash, deliver it to the winner. Don't quit when it gets, you fight through it. Mob after you do it. Procrastinate, can't fail, and don't want, you can not want anything. If you don't want it, it won't, right? Now, appreciate when people for late, that's not humility. I would like to have, but Mother Teresa, have a home. That's what I need. Really? You can't even afford Pollo Loco. And that's a Pollo Loco's delicious. Am I right? Pollo Loco, delicious? For the first time on Tuesday. He ate all the chicken, which really pissed me. Or, find the most successful person of influence and ask you. Now, when I meet people I respect from, is I ask them to buy a day of their time. What would it cost me? Just recently, that I mentioned, I met her as a friend of mine. Bob Diamond. Bob Diamond is engaged, who works in Wall Street. So he was telling me about this Eva. I said, wow, Bob, that's incredible. Any way you could get Eva to come out, I would just like to pick her brain. Advice she could give me. Memorial, tell you what, Eva and I to come out and spend Idaho. We put them up in the, I'll have Eva spend 4 hours with me. Good trade. Would have never happened if I had a consultative attitude smarter than me. People that are smarter than me. No, the value of their time to get any of it for free has no value. As oftentimes they will offer mutual benefit or a value. But if they want paid, I'll pay. Do you have that consulting in your business? The number of people, it seems like this has been a revolving door of buying in from all over the country. Look at our business. What are we doing right? What can we change? Hindsight can be your, here's what a consultant does for you. It pushes you into uncharted, grow exponentially, and more compassionate. You can business act with helping think a consultant would help you be compassionate. Anyone? That seems weird. Nicer. Okay. Good, I like that. Here's how. I'm running out of time here. Here's how you nicer. Consultant has been where you've been, what you've seen, and what are they saying to you? Just relax. We're going to work through the CEO of this company, and we're going to figure out a solution to this thing. Consultant, you're left, which typically consists, and then you start going to all your friends, this is a horrible idea. I told you not to start that. Am I right? You've got to have scared than you that is where you just relax, calm down. The calls that I've had with Mike over the years, I think the number one, just relax. You're acting like a chicken with a relax. You need that in your business. Become richer. You'll start thinking you'll become less petty that is holding you back. Petty, you'll learn how to remind it to network and collaborate alone. Many like-minded accomplish this goal. New York and met with Fortress out there, some other hedge funds of developing a business of dollars a year. It's not a goal of mine. I showed them the plan. They go, man, this is call us with and a month. $100 million a month. This number, I think we should do $4 billion. Until I had a horizon had not been expanded, I'm doing pretty good. These guys, and they make me feel like what are you from court? Thanks, guys. You know, consultant wannabe, implementer, success, proven track record, wannabe, degrees and pedigree. Jokes that Eva, came to Coeur d'Alene. She said, "Do you buddies graduated from?" Do you guys know how to tell? She said, "They will tell you within." I went. Funny is when you travel in New York. What are you doing? I'm Lee Arnold. Who are you? Oh, hi. Community College. Yeah, Compass, Harvard's galore. Implementers, proven designs. Wannabes, implementers applaud success. Wannabes are jealous of. Implementers spend money. Just wannabes don't invest. If I were to come on a balance sheet, how much went on consumables, getting liabilities, and on investments? Invested, what kind of from those investments? Somebody analyze your book. It's very, just so you know, very good at making really well and audited. You're kind of dumb. That's so very nice of you. What can I do different? If I screwed it up, better. And here's the problem. You know right now could not answer the question. Managing cash. Oh man, job. No, you need somebody that's going to get in cash because your investment's not producing a reliable. If you drop 1,000 pieces of mail, what to call, how many leads are being the lead from where you get it to where you get paid, and how. That's how we look at what are you doing that's working, that's not working, or some rocket fuel on your business. Better. Spend, make more. Okay? Now, before you spend less, go into your business and find out. Many of you, monthly fees and services, proven reliable way to generate a month in your business. Ready for it? The seminars with you, because all I'm paying for. But Lee, my business was sites, really? How much money have you generated? Are you paying? Working. Stop spending the money. Pitching. Who's your target demo you want to pursue? To obtain them. Stop doing. Okay. Business implementers control and way have no boundaries. Lead partner, wannabe self. Implementers, wannabes, language of could and will. Implementers, wannabes, overcommit, and it probably screen because I mean our time waste. You want to know how I know? To appointments, travel. You want to my office. You come into where I am king. Travel, because when I have the upper hand, I want them so that I can be the man. Also, have you car insurance, tickets, hotels, travel? And I would rather costs to come to me, costs to go to them. 8 hours in an airplane, I'm generating leads. So you've got to value. Okay? Implement our lifetime learners, live on benchmarks and hire smarter people. I've been blessed with a team of people who are smarter than I am. I just get most of the talking. But there is not a single here this weekend that I had. Even these slides. I gave my info. I said, this is what I want. Here's where we're going to funnel it into. Our event together. Leah's doing Roxanne did all the calls. Our CEO made sure everything was capital to put it all together. Team and all of the payroll and all that stuff. So I get the credit because I took the risk. You guys believe that there's not a payroll who makes, I'm in my company. Suppose that is. I'm the low of my company. Why am I the low? Because I'm your return right now. I need educated talent, and I would much rather pay. They can invest time into help than pay me. So the reward now, reward later. Just no. Makes right? So your income. If you read, you don't have to make as much. Gosh, you free up cap that can be used to invest in services and software business more fluent. Are you willing to have less? More? So pull out that cutting stuff out so that we can do more. Rewire success. Life is not simply playing a poor hand. Poker players in the room? Texas Hold'em? TV? It's much more exciting hand. And I'm much better poker player when I'm watching because I can see everyone's hand. But what's great about business, everyone's hand. Make them show their hand. Negotiation, the first name a location, name it. Okay? You can win. You can now I was working at the grocery store, scanning groceries, and this gentleman, nice suit, and we're having a, you know, you're a young man. And I said, thank you. I think that I would look for my company. Oh. I said, well, what? He says, we products, and we make a lot of money. I like a lot of, exactly like what I'm after. I'm having a meeting tomorrow. You should stop by. All right. So I show up at the door, his nice suit, plastic, standing there. Hi, Lee, how are you? Come into the, there was like 3 of us in the red pen. And he said, when you join, these are the kinds of I look like I need soap. I thought of their big convention center. And if you're in Amway, it's just not for me. Okay? I learned something from Amway. Fake it. That's what they kept saying until you make it. I can fake. So I bought a suit. And so it worked. Point, okay? So quick to show your hand. You go right into eventually, and things are horrible. And this is nobody's doing, okay? So when somebody, they don't hear any fantastic, right? Fantastic? Yeah. Nobody wants to hear your successful people don't like stories. Damn it, your whole, right? You guys have got to, everybody's got challenges, problems. Everybody's got a role. But guess what? Hear it. Neither does anybody else. Now, if you've got a real, let's pray together. But you know what I love about prayer? You want to know why? And then, so universe. For tomorrow has enough worries. Also said, the sparrows of the field, why will you, are you not? Pray and continue to stupid. I love prayer for them. Give it away. Give it away. Struggling today. You want to worry and complain, vomit it on somebody? Up. Right? I just kind of got a visual. What he wants, right? How many? Okay, we got kids. Your kid's got a problem, store it in and want them to bring it to you. Me, bring it to me. If you believe that he is your heaven, that's what he said. Leave it there. You don't need to worry about it. But there, leave it there. Evermore. Life is great. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Faking it till I make it. Characteristics of self-made millionaire. Blame game. Okay? All of your life, your business, your take more responsibility. They make decisions. What do you want? Most people have to decide. Thinking Jimmy John's, but oh, that's Subway. I'm gonna have pizza. You got to make decisions quickly. There's something that happens. Trust your gut. In your gut, so that your gut is more. Did you know that you can train your gut? There's a bunch of nerves on, and they trigger to your brain making decisions. Gut to make decisions. The more often it's you trust your gut. Read Jack Welch's. Who's Jack Welch? Former CEO of GE, gazillion, billion. He was the CEO of this company. In an interview by CNN, they run the company so successful. My gut. Education. Advisors and counselors, he said, but he also got was right. Now, I'm silly, but I want you to try here at the hotel. What do? When you push the button, whoever you're standing with, bet you $2 that. There's 3 of them. That's the door, and they're going to look at you, right? And then they're going to, oh, you're a genius. And you're like, well, actually, there's that one. So, was the door, okay? Our gut by using things, and will guide you. They trust genius. Do you know what genius is? Willingness to be. That genius is the willingness to be. I tell my kids all the time, genius. I said, it means you're. He said, well, I said, because you're wrong. He's 4. He didn't think that. Michelle Gunn. Okay, Michelle Gunn out of Bonnie. The starting revelation is that this liquidity, speaking in reference, is with a qualifying deal, I can have a complete deal in months. Flow, we need to run a real estate investment. We've added 14 properties. Some we have kept as rentals. We have a lease option tenants, a commercial. And Ingenious, it is changing the way that construction-related trades can act their careers alive. Michelle Gunn hired me. I flew over to Bonnie Lake. One time she was running a dance studio property. So portfolio and her balance sheets prior to arriving there, when I got in cash in her investments, but they were free in cash and investment properties. In a little area in the proper income. I saw these properties, they're killing. Proceeded to sell off the investment and started buying new investment. A Tuesday, working, and she actually brought her Houston and Austin, thank you. Her and her mom and the 2 won the market. And we were properties, and we went to the Washington auctions. We went to the auction that Friday. We period of about 15 minutes. At about $45,000. She went back to the auction. She was at our event up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And she pulls me out. She's like, Lee, come here. It's like, Lee, I need to know if you have $1,000 in the next 10 minutes. I said, sure. What are we doing? And a commercial property. I said, okay, well, go ahead. So she bought it. Refinanced off the property. Appraisal for 1.6 on a building she paid $6 in liquidity. And guess what? Lender. So in a period of $3 million in liquid. Been talking about what she is and real estate deals that she's purchased. Investment was ready to make that investment. That's $150,000. You're wondering, the right answer is your wife. Time. 24 months. You should be concerned. No. Woodwards and Kings. Who's the tall, good-looking stuff? Left. Regan's clients. They said the loose ends together. We're making lots of offers. We've signed so many pieces about and heard about, and all the come together. Get where you're at, where you want to go. Road. We've made a leap in the progress we have made. Was that a good use of their springboard tense? If you were, you agree? Where you planned to go, have already done it. Got to get somebody that's going around and get you to. Now, don't. Okay, I hire a consultant to be a pretty motivated guy. I want to make the same mistake. I want to pay people to puddles of error first time. Because if you much more quickly. So here's self-made millionaires continue. They focus on their core 5. They focus. And I want you to pull around number 5 on marketing. 1, if your phone ain't paid, your phone hasn't rang. Can we get Bill a mic, please? I told you. And I always. Bill, which I found was fascinating. I'm really mad at you.
Okay, ruined my weekend. Some of you in the room, this ad that he advised, and you, it's very short. Investor with fixed will sell small contract with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Consultant a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to do this. He never put your real phone Google number. That said, ever. and it to several places. This was one of them. It was on Friday. I only did that on a Friday after. By Friday night, I had already received about and houses over here, over 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, garage, and when can I see the house? I'm sitting on 0. I have no houses, and he had done to me doing this. This helps you pretty fast. Again, I had about, and then time I left to come down here, I counted 60. I had about, and then time I left to come down here, I counted 60. I had about, and then time I left to come down here, I counted 60. I had about, and then time I left to come down here, I counted 60. I had about, and then time I left to come down here, I counted 60. And then time I left to come down here, I had about, I counted 60. And then time I left to come down here, I had about, I counted 60. And then time I left to come down here, I had about, I counted 60. And then time I left to come down here, I had about, I counted 60. And then time I left to come down here, I had about, I counted 60. And then time I left to come down here, I had about, I counted 60. And then time I left to come down here, I had about, I counted 60. And then
we want you to be involved. Choose the level of. Number 7, they model after successful people, build a team of smart, because successful people. I'm curious, do you think you will make more or worse? So I'm about to show you to freak you out, so you know. Okay? View the numbers as an, and what should you expect? A return. Now, the level of your return. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be out in the rotunda trading you a for every 1 day. How many? Okay, now we're all clear. Happen tomorrow morning. Now, sure, we are very clear. Is I was in the audience saying, dude, I can't come up with any this. I want it, but I can't. And I said the same thing to this. Guess what she showed up with at 6 a.m. in the Rotunda in Orlando? 101 to $1,300 overnight. I was concerned when I saw a strip club had been robbed. Donald, they're up in Connecticut. Days with Reagan, I learned a lot how to structure deals, offers, and how to not be afraid and see where it takes. We come through. Things are, side note, these 100% financing with that they worked on with Reagan, dollars in cash on their. Does a company do 100 thing? We do. 100 days. These last 3 businesses for 19 years at all, but no matter how experienced, extra you can learn. Fine-tune things in my business. Already done 2 loans through both for long-term, getting access to our investor note. How many of you are aware of our 5-year? Okay? You get your short-term, pay all your bills on time. We convert. Leonard now has 2 rental properties. So your next steps are these. You must begin, says Stephen Covey. And in mind is the endowment of imagination. You are the programmer, write the program to do with the time, talent, and within my small going to decide. 1, define what you want to accomplish. Find the goal. Decide to get what you want. Define benchmarks. Reevaluate. And 4, choose a sector there. Decide which project, point A, to beginning with the end in mind. Our aim is to deploy $1 billion nationwide over the next 5 years. Our company goal. $2. That's billion with a okay, billion. With the end in mind, now we begin. What has to get there? Let's begin with the end in mind. So what is, and when is your end of your life? So, okay. So where are you going to be tomorrow to be with me? The one-on-one consultant, as I mentioned, $50,000 for this for $49,000. In Richmond, who is per 10 years, he's made himself a airplane, He's much smarter than I am. Why do I cost? Because I don't want to go. That's a true story. Like 4 years ago, and I said, you know what? I'm going to charge X number of dollars. Paid it, which meant I had to leave my family. So they said, now it's this. Well, paid it. And I went, so now it's $100. Pay it. Because then I got to travel. You must have me. I'm expensive. 12 one-on-one mentoring sessions. Then spend 3 days in your office working with you. After Regan, place of business, and you will get 100% finance that you identify. Here's why. Personally sign off on, because he's been to your market, ability to produce and perform operations that you run. Investment gets you access. Now, if you have 100% finance, deals can you buy if I am? We did that because there's a significant investment. I can't pay that and still have it. That's why you're going to money to do the deals. You to consume more. What is yours? What must I have to capital? Experts, millions of dollars a year are my trained for millions of dollars. You okay? Because $1 million a year, I'm dollars, which means I'm a tenth of the just with you guys. You promise more. Also, we have just a foreclosure REO note hot sheet available to our one-on-one, and let me tell you what it is. Loans, some do pay us back. We have to do what? So when we have a slow or a potential REO come every other Friday, we'll meet with these properties. And through the mentoring program, you get to buy off. So those of you who have said, man, I bank where I can get the REOs without having to else, that would be awesome, right? Giving you access to the both of these things. Regan has come 3 days with you. Now, it's not in your abilities at the moment to a 24/9 program with one of ours. Now, the discount that they are less simply had to price Regan at for the entire program. The answer to Regan out in the field costs money in lost productivity. So Regan has that have worked with us, being one of them, Justin in the back. Okay, you guys met Dana and Terry Clafters for us, and we have entry. So who knows your market. When you get enrolled in the program, you will Regan. He will identify, and then he will pair you up with work best for your pay. So we're not going to stick with, we want a nice team, okay? So we'll get you the business. At the 24, you still get access to foreclosure, REO, and you still get 100% qualifying deals in your market, okay? Now, that for some of you is some of money, which is why we have our $14,995. Now, mentoring, it's nobody flies. Now, in the room, I've done mentoring with other companies. You've done phone consulting, town, but you've got a question. What going value? You paid them the money. C'est la vie. We want you to. So you borrow. Okay? I'm not interested in a relationship with you. 30, 40 years with you. How many properties you're going to do this year, the next year? I want. You make a couple, and you come back and do what? Mentor's good. I like that. What else could you do? Lend. Of wealth you can come back with, and now you're making passive. You generate $5 million over the next 10 years. You decide I'm done in I want passive now. % rate of return. Could you on that? Then grow. What's 10% return on 10? $1 million. Now some of you have a domestic made vehicle, so you have to retire 10% on $1 million. $1,000. Okay? Get you to the point where you're competent and you know what to buy. Let's give you the money and the capital to need until now you can pay cash for real estate through our channels and join. That is the interest in your success. Like us, they're only interested in sending some expert person to good luck. Company has, so they'll borrow, and then lend. Okay? Now, with these two, the $14,997.95, time to come up really like the $24,999. You can purchase one or the $14,996, 30 days or 60 days, and what you need, come up with the remainder. Either have to pull equity, finance something, they need to convert a 401k into access to funds and get the best in the program. Okay, but you'll need, or with Doreen, through the process and get you out those forms, please, just so everyone. Our inner circle helps seriously overcome doubt, paralysis, give personal and professional, not worry about mistakes, not waste time on systems into place, automate, avoid timely mistakes. Would that be okay? So over the next couple of days, the sign-up sheet on the name, and you'll get a ton to meet with Doreen. I told you to get access to our mentor, Doreen, because if you're the commitment, the drive, we won't let you into the. You have that you're going to succeed. If you're just going to spend money and do nothing, because when you give us all that, that's what you then do. You do things. Therefore, I'd rather not have your money. If Doreen thinks you're you access to one of these, do it. Our inner circle 2, arm your that increase success levels. This distinction, they stopped obsolete models, personal and professional relational alliances with joint venture partners, market and have ongoing storming sessions. Circle, because consulting clients are. We know who Justin has worked with, and we know what. So we will connect you so that you can get deals done. About where do I find a partner for me in this deal? And if you don't have the financial, you in with somebody who will help you. We only get paid on deals. Our transaction engineers, transaction work. We're going to on your behalf. We're going to help you solidify your local and national strategic. Uncover the fastest and most actions and implement, automate, and stream your business. On you, I would like you to take out your pen, goal, the package wants. Don't. Point. Rich people say, if money was not an issue, would you choose? Money was not an issue, would you choose? I have built a career out where to get the money. To know what I'm getting. If I find a good shop it around and I find people, you guys want to do one. There's not a person in this room who packages. We know that. With where am I going to get the money? She will help you. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. You got to know all money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. You got to know all money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. You got to know all. Do it time after time. You got to know all. Do it time after time. You got to know all. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. You got to know all. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. You got to know all. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. You got to know all. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. You got to know all. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. You got to know all. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. 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 Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Money that you didn't know. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time. Money that you didn't know. Do it time after time.